General Fire and Safety to provide top-of-the-line products, installation, and maintenance. If you're starting a new business in a brand new building, call on General Fire and Safety to help you plan a fire safety system that fits the specific needs of your business, employees, and customers. Call General Fire and Safety today at 402-261-0116.
Ever stare at the Hog Wild menu and feel like you just can't make up your mind because it all looks so good? Well, when I want a little bit of everything, I get a little bit of everything on Hog Wild Smokestack Sandwich. On a butter-toasted bun, we pile on our hickory smoked beef brisket and juicy hot links. The hard part is choosing between fresh curly fries, classic baked beans, or coleslaw on the side. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Are your feet just killing you? You feel like all hope is lost? Say goodbye to discomfort and hello to pain relief at Brown Shoe Fit. They offer expert advice along with high-quality products to help you find the right solution tailored to your specific needs. Need a different width? Not a problem. Brown's carries a wide range of widths in store. Brown Shoe Fit on 66th and Q.
All right, Rico, let's do the final checklist before we head out. We have a lot of people coming to the tailgate today.
I'm ready.
Burgers?
Check.
Chips?
Check.
Icy cold beer?
Check. Except this one.
I'm forgetting something. Wait a second. Where's the Führer's cheese spread?
I can't stop eating it.
Rico!
Relax. I always pack extra. It's the biggest hit of the tailgate.
For the best appetizer, party dip, and tailgate snack, load up on Führer's cheese spread today in most local grocery stores.
Attention! For a limited time, Acres is offering 1.9% for 60 months on remaining 22 and 23 John Deere combines. This extraordinary low interest rate, along with Acres' discounted pricing, allows you to upgrade your equipment before harvest and lock in incredible savings. And with Acres' A-plus support package included, you'll be up and running throughout the harvest season. Act now. This special rate won't last long. Visit acres.com for details. That's AKRS.com.
This is the Adam Carriker Show.
Position right of the quarterback, out of the shotgun, 1st and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carriker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carriker.
Shotgun snap to Everett. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carriker who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Adam Carriker.
Welcome, everybody, into the Adam Carriker Show. The dawn of a new era, day number 5. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the Monday following the stomping of the mud hole of the, it sounds bad, but you know what I mean. Stomping a mud hole in the Colorado Buffaloes keister and walking it dry. It was a great win on Saturday for Nebraska. It was a great momentum win. It was a great win over a so-called rival. It was a phenomenal atmosphere. This is the game that everyone's been pointing to basically since the season ended last year. Husker fans wanted to win this game. Oh, man. Probably that Miami game in 2014. As badly, they wanted to win this game as badly as that Miami game in 2014 because finally, Miami had to come to Lincoln. It wasn't in December or November, but, you know, we'll take it. And we took it then, and we took it to them, and we took it to Colorado on Saturday. The Adam Carriker Show, ladies and gentlemen, every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, live in studio, noon to 1 p.m. Central Time. Grab your lunch. Come join myself, Jake. Here's what you're going to get on this show. You're going to get unique insights, unbridled honesty, and we'll have un poquito amount of fun along the way, to a whole lot of fun along the way as well. Today, we're going to look back and we're going to break down that Colorado game. We're going to put a button on it, a bow on it, a ribbon on it. We're going to enjoy it. My wife's like, why don't you start looking ahead to the next game? Well, because I want to talk about Colorado first, and we'll get to Northern Iowa. Don't overlook Northern Iowa like Notre Dame did Northern Illinois. Don't make that mistake, but we'll get there. All in due time. So we're going to break down the Colorado game, give some thoughts. We're going to react to Matt Rhule's press conference. The press conference is actually going on right now as we speak. All right, we got some fine folks, some experts behind the scenes. Jake, who's going to be giving me the highlights, all right, from that press conference. And we're going to talk about that hopefully at 12:30, if not 12:45. And also, we're going to break down the big games from this past weekend in college football briefly. We'll do it more in detail tomorrow. All right, Texas. I said take them 7+. My Lord, Michigan, how the mighty have fallen, and it is disgusting to watch how good Texas is. Notre Dame says, hey, we'll take that big win, and then we'll give it right back because we're going to beat A&M on the road and lose to a 4-touchdown underdog Northern Illinois team at home. That's why I love college football. At some point, you got to kick the ball off, and that ball it does funny things. It's why college football is the greatest sport under God's hot sun. All right, Oregon. Man, 2 weeks in a row, they've not looked great. I do think Boise State's a really good team. I predicted them to be the G5 team that gets in the playoff. And if they are, they have shown they can play with the top 10 team. All right. Man, Tennessee just absolutely decimated North Carolina State. One of the few ranked matchups this weekend. You had Texas, Michigan, and really the other matchup between two ranked teams with Tennessee, NC State. Why does the ACC even still exist? All right, let's see what else we got as far as top matchups here. There's one more. There's two more. I don't know if it's a top matchup, but I just want to talk about Iowa losing. So Iowa, who will no longer be ranked, Nebraska is ranked if you didn't know, lost to their in-state rival, Iowa State. All right, and then Kansas. I was actually rooting for Kansas. I like it when the basketball schools are good at football. Kansas, North Carolina, Kentucky, although Kentucky's not been great at basketball lately, but they're definitely still a blue blood. Kansas, with 18 returning starters, the ranked Jayhawks go in, and this is why it matters. They go into Champaign, the city, not the drink, and they lose to Illinois with the S is silent, our opponent, on a Friday night, the 400th consecutive sellout in 2 weeks. We could have a 3-0 Nebraska versus a 3-0 Illinois on that night. Okay, but we'll get into those games a little bit more later on. Nebraska's victory over Colorado, all right, marked the Huskers' 50th win in the series. Nebraska now holds a 50-21-2 all-time edge in the series, including a 27-9 record in Lincoln. Nebraska's 18-point victory marked its largest victory over Colorado since a 45-7 drubbing in 2010. Nebraska limited Colorado to 16 rush yards. There was a point in the game where Colorado was averaging -2 yards per rush. And then about 5 minutes later, Colorado was legit averaging -1 yards per play, pass or rush. What a performance by the Black Shirts. All right, Nebraska limited Colorado to 16 rushing yards. Is it bad that I'm disappointed they got in the positive department? Man. All right, including 6 sacks for 41 yards and losses. This marks the 10th time in 14 games under head coach Matt Rhule. The Huskers have limited the opposition to fewer than 100 yards rushing, including 7 games with 75 or fewer yards. Colorado's 16 rushing yards are the fewest by a Nebraska opponent since Purdue was held to -2 rushing yards in 2020. The oh-so fondly remembered COVID season. All right, Nebraska held Colorado to 10 points, marking the 9th consecutive opponent the Huskers have limited to 24 points or less. This is the longest stretch Nebraska has limited their opposition to 24 or less since a 14-game stretch. You might remember this defense spanning back to 2009, 2010. Crick, Sue, David, Amukamara, what a defense that was. All right, Nebraska has held each of its past 6 opponents in Memorial Stadium to 14 or fewer points. Nebraska held Colorado and their offense to 260 total yards, marking its 9th consecutive opponent to gain less than 400 yards. The last time Nebraska held this many opponents to less than 400 yards for 9 straight games was a 14-game stretch spanning the final 3 games of 2008 and the first 11 games of 2009. Cornerback Tommy Hill intercepted, all right, the play of the game, in my opinion. And it kind of just looked like Shedeur threw it right to him. I still don't know what he was thinking. Talking about Shedeur. And Tommy just kind of caught it and basically walked in. You see the photo of that interception. It's an extremely athletic play. I mean, he's hopping high in the air. He's contorting his body. It's a great catch. It looks way more difficult when you see the actual photo than when you just watch it, whether it be on the big screen in the stadium or on your television at home. All right, Hill intercepted the CU pass and returned to 7 yards for a touchdown to give Nebraska the 14-0 lead in the second quarter. It was Hill's 5th career INT and his first interception return for a touchdown. Hill's pick 6 was the first for Nebraska since Cam Taylor-Britt had a 38-yard interception return for a touchdown against Iowa, our good buddies, in 2019. It marked Nebraska's first defensive touchdown since 2020, which was a Deontay Williams fumble return for a touchdown versus Penn State, and marked the second straight week the Husker defense has scored after recording a safety versus UTEP. That's one of the things Tony White wanted to do better this year. Force more turnovers and score on defense. 2 weeks in a row, the Black Shirts have put points on the board. The safety in week 1 versus UTEP, the pick 6 versus Colorado. All right, Brian Buschini, our field goal kicking game is so up in the air right now. Special teams needs to get better. All right, and I pointed out on my show, the Carriker Chronicles, areas that we need to improve on. I did forget to mention, Buschini actually had a pretty good day, and I'm curious to see what he can do this year because he's got all the ability in the world as a punter. I should mention Nebraska also blocked a field goal. Okay, we had the block punt. We allowed the long kickoff return. Okay, the 37-yard line early in the first quarter. Obviously, we missed the field goal. But Brian Buschini had a pretty good day. He had a 60-yard punt down at the Colorado 2-yard line in the second quarter, which resulted in Nebraska's aforementioned pick 6 by Tommy Hill. All right, the 60-yard punt was the 5th of Brian Buschini's Nebraska career so far. Buschini finished the night with a 50.8-yard average on 5 punts. Something in special teams is going right so far, and that's good to see. Nebraska blocked a second quarter Colorado field goal, marking Nebraska's 5th blocked kick in the past 2 seasons, including 4 field goals and 1 punt. Ty Robinson has been a stud so far this year, and he's absolutely one of my favorite players on the team. And I was asked by people, Adam, how can you have favorites? Well, I can absolutely have favorites. These are not my children, and I will not apologize for having favorites on the team, especially when it's a dominant, humble, hardworking defensive lineman, black shirt, single-digit number wearer, all in one player. Defensive lineman Ty Robinson was credited with the field goal block, his second in the past 3 games. Iowa, the last game of last year, and Colorado on Saturday are the 2 games. UTEP's sandwiched in the middle. All he did was cause the safety against UTEP. All right, Robinson also had a PBU on the game's opening play and a 9-yard sack. First 2 games, he has 2 sacks, 1 in each game so far. All right, and that sack on Saturday happened in the 3rd snap of the game. Just FYI, today, the captains for Colorado's game was Bryce Benhart, Jamal Banks, Ty Robinson. And this one actually stood out to me because who's going to stand out at that other corner spot in the secondary opposite Tommy Hill? Marquise Buford was a captain for Saturday's game. I think that means something. All right, Nebraska jumped out early, 14-0 in the first quarter, and really just dominated. Okay, Colorado had 4 rushes for negative 27 rushing yards in the first quarter. All right, meanwhile, Nebraska was averaging 7.1 yards per carry right out the gate. Nebraska had 103 total yards on 19 plays after the first quarter. Colorado had minus 2 yards on 11 plays. Nebraska dominated the time of possession, 10-22 to 4:38 after 1. The lead at halftime was 28-0. Now, the total yards actually was in favor of Colorado in the second quarter. They had 114 total yards. Nebraska had 110, but Nebraska, they had a lot more points on the board at that point. Now, in the third quarter, CU ran the ball twice for 0 yards, so I guess that's an upgrade for them at that point anyways. Meanwhile, Nebraska ran the ball 9 times for 50 yards, averaging just over 5 yards per carry in the third quarter, and they really dominated the time of possession again, 9:30 to 5:30. Okay, now I should point out the second half, Nebraska didn't score a point. I do have to look at Marcus Satterfield's play calling, got way too conservative. I don't know. You come out so hot as a team. You come out on fire. You come out just dominating. in a game that people have looked forward to for basically like 11 months, dominating your so-called rival who just runs their mouth all the time and they ain't got nothing to say. Although Deion Sanders got up the next morning, took a picture of him walking around the pregame and had the cojones to put that out on social media. I almost respect the lunacy behind that. Almost. But in the second half, all right, I do want to point one thing out before I get to the second half. Dylan Rhule was 23 of 30, which is a 76.7. So if you're around 77% completion percentage, of his 7 incompletions, Jake, of his 7 incompletions, how many were on him? Because Nebraska's receivers dropped at least 3 balls, maybe more. Like they were in their hands. And I'm not saying the receivers had a bad night, but there was a drop touchdown pass. Okay, at one point early in the first half. I won't put that player's name out there. There was another couple of times where it was in the receiver's hands. He might have been 26 or 27 out of 30 if they catch those. How many drops did they have? Do we have a stat on that? I got every other stat under God's hot sun. Do we have that stat?
I don't have that stat in front of me, no. But, yeah, I mean, to be fair, though, there was the touchdown catch that he did get that could have been an interception.
That was
So
Ramir
there
Johnson.
is
That is fair, yes.
Yeah.
That is a good point. All right. So we did get outscored 3-0 in the third quarter, outscored 10-0 in the second half. Part of that is conservative play calling. Part of that is you come out so hot, you get such a big lead. It's almost hard to avoid a letdown. And then you realize you only play 12 games a year, and you do all this work for 12 Saturday afternoons or 1 Friday evening in a year. Actually, 2 Fridays if you play for Nebraska, Black Friday, and then the Illinois game. There's no excuse for a letdown. Okay, the play calling got conservative. There was a little bit of a letdown. Nebraska, how can you complain? 2-0, ranked for the first time in half a decade. Got no complaints. Areas to improve on, though. Special teams, second half play calling, and they have yet to put together 4 full quarters. If you think about the first 2 games, of the 8 quarters, they've actually played 5 really good quarters. 3 in game 1, 2 in game 2. That's just over 50%. Imagine if they just bat 75% or 80%. Or put together a whole game. Imagine what this team could potentially be capable of. It's hard not to be proud of what they've done so far. But if you're not trying to get better, you're getting worse. You never stay the same. So I guarantee Matt Rhule's talking to his team about this as well. All right. Let's see. We got a few minutes here left before we go to break. So I've talked multiple times about the experience up front in the offensive line, and the defensive line dominated Colorado's O-line. The pass rush is dominated. We had free blitzers just about any time they wanted. Anytime Tony White and the black shirts wanted to get pressure on Shadur, there was at least one guy coming free. Our offensive line played really, really well the first half. Everything cooled off on offense the second half. But here's the experience that we have up front. Bryce Benhart has started 42 games in his career, 158 total starts for the entire offensive line, good for top 5 in the entire country. Bryce Benhart, actually 43 now. Okay, Cerner Corcoran has started 33 games. Ben Scott is in his 3rd straight season of starting. 2nd for Nebraska. He started Arizona State before he came to the Huskers. Micah Mazuka started 23 games for 3 different schools in 3 different Power 4 conferences. We're going to pretend the Big 12 is as good as the Big 10 and SEC, but he started in the SEC for Florida, starting in the Big 10 for Nebraska, and started in the Big 12 for Baylor, where he actually was graded out by Pro Football Focus as the 2nd best run blocking guard in the entire conference 2 years ago. All right. Justin Evans Jenkins has got 7 starts. Henry Letufsky 4. Joey Mancino 1. There is experience all across the board on this offensive line. And I look at the offensive line, how well they played in the first half, and I say, hey, you are too experienced to have a letdown in the second half. Okay, to be clear, I got nothing but excitement and love and respect and happiness for being 2-0 and how they played so far. Just got to put it together more than 5 out of 8 quarters. All right. There's a couple other things that happened on Saturday that were pretty cool, if you missed it. The 1994 National Championship team returned to Lincoln. They were honored throughout the game. They actually lined the red carpet during the tunnel walk. As I'm walking into the stadium, this big guy with glasses comes up behind me. Hey, how you getting in the stadium? I turn around. Rob Zadek is way smarter than that. I'm terrible at impressions. I'm sorry, Dr. Rob. It was Dr. Rob. So we chatted for a little bit. At some point, he's going to come on my show. I'll come on his show. He does a phenomenal job. Doc Talk. Check it out. All right. But he's like, yeah, man, we're going to be right there during the tunnel walk. And he was pretty pumped about that. It was like he was getting ready to do the tunnel walk all over again. So that was pretty cool to see. All right. Now, 1994, the Huskers earned the first of Coach Tom Osborne's 3 national championships as a head coach. He's actually part of 5. Don't forget, 70-71, he was an offensive coordinator. 3 as a head coach. Posted a 13-0 record. Their biggest regular season victory in 1994 was against our good buddies and pretend rivals, Colorado. They led that game at one point 24-0. The final score was 24-7. 2 versus 3 matchup. After that game, Nebraska actually vaulted to number 1 in the country. Okay. And as many of you fine folks, I'm sure know, Nebraska clinched the 1994 national championship with a 24-7 victory over the number 3 Miami Hurricanes in the Orange Bowl. And my former coach, Frank Solich, all right, he received College Football Hall of Fame campus salute. He was honored throughout the game as well. There was a picture of him and Coach Osborne, a bunch of the 94 guys around him as well. Grant Wistrom, a bunch of those guys. He was recognized on the field during the first half against Colorado as a representative of the College Football Hall of Fame. Coach Solich, I still remember him and George Darlington. George Darlington was my recruiter. Coach Solich was in my house once. And when I was growing up, I was responsible for supper every Sunday night. Starting my freshman year of high school, my parents wanted me to start to learn how to cook for myself. They were kind of successful. By the time I got to college and I was out of the dorms, first meal I ever made was 32 slices of bacon on a plate, and I put as much grease as I possibly could in there, and I thought it was phenomenal. And then I tended to eat a lot of Eggos, who are still delicious to me to this day. But so my parents semi-succeeded. But my point is simply this. Every Sunday night, starting my freshman year, for 4 years, I was in charge of supper on Sunday night. And I love breakfast. I would inevitably just make breakfast. So I can make just about any breakfast you want. Almost. Okay. And Coach Solich, Coach Darlington were on a recruiting visit to my house on a Sunday night. So, of course, I was in charge. All right. And so they ended up eating, bacon, eggs, pancakes, all that stuff that I made. And I'll never forget just sitting there, because I wasn't the best cook at the time. And I remember thinking to myself, this is a recruiting visit. They're trying to be nice to me. I know I'm not that good a cook. Are they going to say that they actually like my food? Or what are they going to do here? Coach Solich, the College Football Hall of Famer that he is, looked at me, smiled, and he said, Adam, you're doing good, but it's a work in progress. And I love that. I love the honesty, and I became much more interested in Nebraska at that very moment. The honesty, and the risk he took, that could turn somebody off. For me, it enticed me because it's like, this man's going to be honest with me. He's going to force me to be better at football and cooking, and I like that. All right, Coach Solich spent 6 seasons as Nebraska's head coach from 98 to 2003, compiled a 58-19 record with the Huskers. He served as an assistant coach. I think people forget how long he was here. Not only a fullback, okay, for 4 or 5 years, but also an assistant coach for nearly 2 decades, and was on the coaching staff for those 3 national championship teams under Coach Tom Osborne. All right, as many of you know, he went on to serve as the head coach at Ohio for 16 seasons from 2006 to 2021, winning 115 games for the Bobcats. And their field there at Ohio Stadium is also named after Coach Frank Solich. All right, we're going to head to break here in just a minute, but Nebraska is 2-0 following their victories over Colorado and UTEP. They are ranked 23rd in the Associated Press poll, 24th in the USA Today coaches poll. The national ranking is Nebraska's first since 2019. The Huskers were ranked number 25 in both polls after that season opener, but unfortunately lost the following week. The last time Nebraska was ranked higher than this week's number 23 AP ranking was in 2016 when Nebraska was ranked 17th entering the regular season finale versus Iowa. One of the key reasons Nebraska is playing so much better than a year ago is the turnover margin. All right, multiple takeaways by the Black Shirts in consecutive games. It marks the first time the Husker defense has accomplished that. This is kind of a sad stat to read. It's encouraging for now, but sad for the past 5 years. It's the first time Nebraska's defense, the Black Shirts, have accomplished that since 2020, when Nebraska had multiple takeaways against Northwestern and Penn State in back-to-back games. This is the first time Nebraska has had a positive turnover margin in consecutive games since the first 2 games of the 2022 season, when the Huskers had a +1 turnover margin and a +3 turnover margin versus Wisconsin and Iowa, respectively, in those consecutive games. One last thought, then we'll head to break. Then we'll talk about Matt Rhule's press conference, what he had to say. We'll break down that knowledge, and we'll talk about a little bit of national college football. All right. But a win on Saturday over Northern Iowa would give Nebraska a perfect 3-0 record in non-conference play. Nebraska last went undefeated in non-conference play in 2016. And since 2000, also posted non-conference perfect records in 2001, 2001, 2003, 2005, 2010, 11, and 14. Nebraska's defense, I already read that stat. I don't know why it's down here twice. So basically, Nebraska's defense is playing the best football we've seen since 2009. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the Adam Carriker Show. Grab your lunch. Come join me 4 days a week, noon to 1. Unique insights, unbridled honesty, and we'll have a whole lot of fun in the process. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back.
Disney on Ice presents Mickey's Search Party. Get closer to the magic than ever before. Play along with the Toy Story gang. Explore the colorful world of Coco. Sail away with Moana. Soar to new heights with Belle. And journey to Arendelle to thaw a frozen heart. It's an all-out celebration at Disney on Ice presents Mickey's Search Party. Coming to Pinnacle Bank Arena September 27th through 29th. Visit DisneyOnIce.com and get your tickets today.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and we are out of the gate for September with a very special GMC sales offer. We must move out all new GMC truck inventory fast. So right now at Koppel, we are offering true GM supplier pricing for everyone. Yes, you heard right. True GM supplier pricing on all GMC Sierras. That's over $12,000 off on select models. That's GM supplier pricing, $12,000 off on Sierras. Do not wait. Stop on in or check us out online at koppelcars.com.
I'm softball player Jordy Ball, and I'm proud of my Nebraska roots, and I'm proud to be back home. And at Midwest Bank, they're proud to be your local community bank. They believe in family first, taking initiative, showing integrity, and rolling up their sleeves to support their local communities. They treat everyone like family, no matter where you're from. Whether you walk into a branch in York, Lincoln, Norfolk, or Pierce, you know you're going to be welcomed with a smile. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank.
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial to residential to agricultural storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
The Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mainly sunny skies and it will be breezy. See an afternoon high around 90. Tonight, partly cloudy and breezy. Low around 64. And tomorrow, a slight chance of showers in the morning. Otherwise, mostly sunny and breezy with a high around 93. I'm meteorologist Kyle Tucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Attention! For a limited time, Acres is offering 1.9% for 60 months on remaining 22 and 23 John Deere combines. This extraordinary low interest rate, along with Acres' discounted pricing, allows you to upgrade your equipment before harvest and lock in incredible savings. And with Acres' A-plus support package included, you'll be up and running throughout the harvest season. Act now. This special rate won't last long. Visit acres.com for details. That's AKRS.com.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Are your feet just killing you? You feel like all hope is lost? Say goodbye to discomfort and hello to pain relief at Brown Shoe Fit. They offer expert advice along with high-quality products to help you find the right solution tailored to your specific needs. Need a different width? Not a problem. Brown's carries a wide range of widths in store. Brown Shoe Fit on 66th and Q.
General Fire and Safety has been keeping Lincoln businesses and commercial structures safe for more than 50 years. From a simple fire extinguisher to full fire suppression systems, Lincoln has trusted General Fire and Safety to provide top-of-the-line products, installation, and maintenance. If you're starting a new business in a brand new building, call on General Fire and Safety to help you plan a fire safety system that fits the specific needs of your business, employees, and customers. Call General Fire and Safety today at 402-261-0116.
Tanner's Bar and Grill is the best place in Lincoln for a casual get-together, best place to watch a game, and the best for pre- and post-game. Catch college and NFL football as well as the volleyball action this season at Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. What's better than wings, cold beer, and a Husker win? Enjoy great food and drink specials every day and tons of TVs to catch all the action. Tanner's Bar and Grill, 30th and Yankee Hill.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show, the show that gives you unique insight, unbridled honesty, and we're going to have a whole lot of fun in the process. It's me and my man Jake on the mic. All right, Matt Rhule is apparently still talking. Doesn't he know that, like, I guess he just does what he wants. It's like he runs the joint or something. All right, we're going to talk some national college football in the meantime, which we were going to do at the end of the show, but we'll do it now. It's neither here nor there. All right, Jake, I want some of your thoughts on this. Iowa, they were ahead against Iowa State. Boo-hoo, shed no tears. Iowa State pulls off the upset. Apparently, Iowa still struggles to score points. What are your thoughts here quickly, Jake?
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean,
you said it was awesome.
Well, it's just the game. How can it get any better than a 54-yarder from an in-state Iowa kid? Like, all eyes of the state are on him for the big rivalry. Iowa State hasn't won. Previously Matt Campbell was 1-6 against Kirk Ferentz, so they needed this one. Iowa State needed this one, and the win has propelled them to the top 25 and taken Iowa out of it. Now, for Iowa's side, obviously they scored 40 points in week one. 19 points here, had the lead. Not necessarily a good look, and their defense usually steps up and wins the game. Failed to do so. So it'll be interesting to see where they go. To be completely honest, I would expect nothing else out of Iowa State. And like I said, I just loved it. That leading into the Nebraska game, and they played it at the Nebraska Stadium was just very cool. All that being said, I think I found out too that my conference affiliation or my loyalty in that game is depending on what conference Nebraska in, because I was kind of cheering for Iowa. I used to always cheer for Iowa State in that one, but I'm a conference guy. I'll admit it. I'm a conference guy.
Get out.
You don't cheer for conference?
Dude, not when it's Iowa. Oh,
I don't want to beat like a
holy Moses
3-7 Iowa team at the end of the year. I wanted them to be pretty good.
I just want to beat Iowa. I don't care what their record is, and I want them to lose. Oh, come on, man. All right, so Jake, I love you. What are you doing, man? What are you doing? Oh, man. All right.
I've been known over the years to have, especially like Iowa's brand of football, not necessarily offense, but the fact that their defense and special teams
You're killing me, Smalls.
has been incredible
You're
for
killing
years.
me, Smalls.
Buckets
you're
Award
killing me.
winners, they've cornerbacks of the year. I mean, they've had
He
some
just
guys.
keeps going on. He's not going to stop. Dude, you dug the hole and it was like 6 inches. Nope, not deep enough, not
digging.
deep enough, not deep enough. All right. I can respect a man that has the courage of his convictions, except when these are the convictions. Jake, my man. All right. Iowa actually got outgained by Iowa State. All right. Iowa couldn't even pass for 100 yards in this game. They did rush for 204 yards. So basically they can run the ball, play defense, good special teams, disciplined team. That's Iowa's football. Apparently they can still not throw the ball through the air and score many points. So that is a real shame. All right. Texas and Michigan. This was a butt whooping. This was never a game. Right out the gate, Michigan is struggling on offense. And to be fair, they missed their entire offensive line. To be clear, at the end of this show, we're going to come back, give our thoughts on Matt Rhule's press conference. He's still talking as we speak. But right out the gate, Michigan struggled to move the ball. Texas did not. All right, Michigan has a bunch of here's what's crazy. I thought Michigan would lose the game. I said, take Texas and the points, and I felt very good about saying that. But I thought Michigan's defense would at least keep this interesting. For a while, this game was not interesting by halftime. It was 24-3. Texas had no problem scoring on the defending national champs in their house with the majority of their starters coming back. One of the most elite corners in all of football. Michigan's offense, they've got to do something different. All right. They really have. Their offense is struggling to put points on the board. Texas destroys Michigan 31-12. All right. I love this. Boise State and Oregon. I've always been a Boise State fan. Even before the Fiesta Bowl versus Oklahoma in 2007, which I watched in a hotel room after we had played Auburn in the Cotton Bowl earlier that day. And most people think of that game for the trick plays. For 3.5 quarters, Boise State had the lead, and they just out-footballed Oklahoma. They were better at football than Oklahoma. They only busted those plays out late. Oregon holds on. All right, they were down at halftime, 20-14. Number 7, Oregon holds on to beat Boise State inside of Autzen Stadium. Boise State actually outgains the Ducks, outrushes the Ducks 2-1, 221 rushing yards to 110. This Boise State team, I think, even though they lost, I think they just helped their playoff chances. If it comes down to them and an undefeated Liberty team, I'm putting Boise in. If it comes down to a one-loss Boise and a one-loss Memphis, depending on how Memphis's loss looks and what else Memphis does this season, I'm putting Boise in. They were my prediction of the G5 team to get in the college football playoff before the season. And this elevates them in my eyes because it shows me they're a G5 team that can play with a top 10 team. If you're an Oregon fan, you got concerns. You've won your first 2 games against 2 non-power conference teams by a total of 13 points. You got concerns, Oregon fans. Welcome to the Big Ten. Notre Dame. I sat here last week and talked about how I thought Notre Dame was for real. I can't stand that school. I just hate that they get to have their cake and eat it too. That's basically what it comes down to. Iowa, Jake, Notre Dame, Alabama, the New York Yankees, can't stand them. And I sat here and I said Notre Dame was for real a week ago. All I had to do was wait a week and I could have celebrated. But no, I have to eat crow. Thanks a lot, Notre Dame. I'll never like you again. I never liked you. I'm never going to say positive things again either. Notre Dame didn't just get beat. Like, look at the stats. Northern Illinois, 388 total yards of offense. Notre Dame, 286. Outgained by over 100 yards to a 4-touchdown underdog in their own house. I was completely and utterly wrong. Notre Dame is not for real. They may get in the playoff. They don't have a tough schedule. They probably won't lose more than 2 games, although I don't know after this. Who knows? If they just play halfway decent, they could be 10-2 and they'll get in. But they're not for real. I don't care what they do the rest of this year. I have watched top teams struggle with smaller conference teams a million times in my life, especially early on in the season, but they always find a way to win. If you can't find a way to win when you're a 28-point favorite at home, you're not for real. I don't care what you do the rest of the year. Northern Illinois beats the Fighting Irish 16-14 inside Notre Dame Stadium. All right, Tennessee. There was 2 matchups of ranked teams this weekend. Texas, Michigan, Tennessee, NC State. Tennessee, the Volunteers, number 14. North Carolina State, number 24. This was not a contest. Tennessee, 51. NC State, 10. Why is the ACC still a conference? I don't know. Next game. Illinois. All right. Now, you do a little deeper dive, you could argue Kansas outplayed Illinois. My response would be who scored more points, and it was Illinois at home. This is a rivalry game. Kansas, 327 total yards. Illinois, 271. You watch this game, it looks like Kansas outplayed Illinois, but Illinois won the game. They found a way to win, something Notre Dame couldn't do. Illinois very well may be 3-0 when we play them on Friday night inside Memorial Stadium, the 400th consecutive sellout in 2 weeks, just under 2 weeks. Illinois upsets number 19 with 18 returning starters, Kansas Jayhawks, 23-17. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here on this show, you're going to get Husker football, Husker sports, and college football, ladies and gentlemen, especially throughout college football season. But those are the 3 areas you're going to specifically get. All right, don't go anywhere. We're going to talk about Matt Rhule's press conference, what he had to say, and give a reaction right after this.
Ever stare at the Hog Wild menu and feel like you just can't make up your mind because it all looks so good? Well, when I want a little bit of everything, I get a little bit of everything on Hog Wild Smokestack Sandwich. On a butter-toasted bun, we pile on our hickory smoked beef brisket and juicy hot links. The hard part is choosing between fresh curly fries, classic baked beans, or coleslaw on the side. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
Primary care that understands you. At CHI Health Clinic, our dedicated primary care team takes time to hear you, understand you, and get to know you and your family at every stage of life. We believe in building lasting relationships with our patients. That's why we offer convenient, affordable health care close to home or work. Find out how we treat your whole family like family at chihealth.com/primary care.
Are your feet just killing you? You feel like all hope is lost? Say goodbye to discomfort and hello to pain relief at Brown Shoe Fit. They offer expert advice along with high-quality products to help you find the right solution tailored to your specific needs. Need a different width? Not a problem. Brown's carries a wide range of widths in store. Brown Shoe Fit on 66th and Q.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, and we are out of the gate for September with a very special GMC sales offer. We must move out all new GMC truck inventory fast. So right now at Coppell, we are offering true GM supplier pricing for everyone. Yes, you heard right. True GM supplier pricing on all GMC Sierras. That's over $12,000 off on select models. That's GM supplier pricing, $12,000 off on Sierras. Do not wait. Stop on in or check us out online at CoppellCars.com.
At Farm Bureau Financial Services, we strive to provide you with the right coverages for all your insurance needs by taking the time to meet with you and review what coverages best fit your needs. So whether you're in the market for home, auto, farm, business, life, or a combination of any of these coverages, we can help with making sure you, your family, or your business have the right coverage based on your individual needs. If you would like to review your insurance needs, please contact Ben Spurt with Farm Bureau Financial Services at 402-217-9945 or through email at ben.spurt@fbfs.com.
Fall is the perfect time to work on outdoor projects. Whether you plan to install a fence or add shrubs to your landscape, don't risk an injury by hitting a buried power line. Always call 811 before you dig.
Landmark Implement helps you put dirt in its place with increased accuracy and greater speed thanks to the John Deere Smart Grade. This fully integrated 3D grade control system boosts job site productivity and reduces labor costs with fewer passes and less wasted material, meaning more bids won and higher margins. No masts, no cables, just clear views of the job site. Visit your local Landmark Implement today and discover the profit-boosting power of the Smart Grade and experience the Landmark difference.
It's the fall sports season, and that means that the school year is back in session and you're planning road trips for Nebraska football games and following your kids around to their different events. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors lot is full of great vehicles to take home so you don't have to worry about your current car struggling through another season. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Lake and find your next ride. As your fall schedule gets busy, you'll need a reliable way to get to your destinations. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
All right, Rico, let's do the final checklist before we head out. We have a lot of people coming to the tailgate today.
I'm ready.
Burgers?
Check.
Chips?
Check.
Icy cold beer?
Check. Except this one.
I'm forgetting something. Wait a second. Where's the Führer's cheese spread?
I can't stop eating it.
Rico,
relax. I always pack extra. It's the biggest hit of the tailgate.
For the best appetizer, party dip, and tailgate snack, load up on Führer's cheese spread today in most local grocery stores.
I'm softball player Jordy Ball, and I'm proud of my Nebraska roots, and I'm proud to be back home. And at Midwest Bank, they're proud to be your local community bank. They believe in family first, taking initiative, showing integrity, and rolling up their sleeves to support their local communities. They treat everyone like family, no matter where you're from. Whether you walk into a branch in York, Lincoln, Norfolk, or Pierce, you know you're going to be welcomed with a smile. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank.
Looking for a financial partner that truly makes a difference? Modern Woodman is a member-owned fraternal financial services organization. We can help you plan for all stages of life, from protection to saving to retirement. We also offer member benefits, social activities, and volunteer opportunities to help your family and community.
I'm Sean Erickson, your Modern Woodman representative in Lincoln. Call me at 402-483-6515 to start the conversation.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
Are you worried about storm damage causing issues with your basement? F Foundation Repair fixes basements with supreme waterproofing and exact concrete leveling for residential or commercial clients. They service wet basements, leaky walls, damp crawl spaces, bowing or cracked bricks or drywall, and more. Whether you're in Southeast Nebraska, the Tri-Cities area, or Northeast Kansas, they'll easily make the trip to you. Get a free evaluation today by visiting WeFixBasements.com or call 402-804-1024. F Foundation Repair. We fix basements.
Your child was embarrassed when you arrived at their basketball game. 75% of parents or guardians report current alcohol use. Drinking alcohol can cause harm to children and loved ones. By drinking less, your child will be excited to see you at their basketball game. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Boom! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show, the dawn of a new era, day number 5. I am in studio Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Steve Taylor on Wednesday, noon to 1 p.m. Central Time. All right, this is the show where you're going to get unique insight, unbridled honesty, and we're going to have a whole lot of fun in the process, talking Husker sports, Husker football, and college football, and general sports in general. I don't know why I said general twice, but general sports in general as well. All right, but right here, right now, we're going to react to Matt Rhule's press conference and some of the things that the head coach had to say. Now, he was pretty effusive of his praise of Dylan Rhule, and justifiably so. He talked about his preparation and intensity, and at this moment, it is greater than that because it's infectious into his offensive teammates. Like, they see that. I think back to that moment in camp where the defense was running gassers, not the offense, and Dylan went over and ran gassers with the defense. That sticks out to me so much. And I guarantee that carries over, and I guarantee that reverberates throughout the locker room. All right, he says Rhule knows all 120 plays in the game plan. Coach Matt Rhule said, and I quote, "I think we're playing winning football, so we want to get to championship football," end quote. I'll tell you right now, sitting here at 2-0, being ranked, had you said a month ago, Adam, 2 games in the season, you'll be 2-0 and ranked, would you take it? Yes, absolutely. But a coach is never satisfied. A true competitor is never satisfied. I talked about earlier in the show, we've played 8 quarters so far. Nebraska's legitimately had 5 good ones. And I think that's what he's talking about. We're playing winning football. But you want to play championship caliber, championship contender football. You got to be playing way more than just over 50% good quarters, so to speak. All right. Defense, playing great so far. Really are. One of the most elite wide receiver groups as far as athleticism and quarterback play in general that you're going to find in the country. They just held Colorado to 10 points and shut them out in the first half. And as I mentioned earlier in the show, there were large portions of the first half where Colorado had negative rushing yards. And at one point, they were averaging negative 1 yard per play. That's insane. The black shirts were tough to run on, tough to score on, tough to have consistent success on last year. They needed to improve on turnovers and scoring on defense, and they've improved on both. Black shirts are playing really, really good. The pass rush is improved. Can't get complacent. You can't rest on your laurels. You got to show up this Saturday, and all those starters should be sitting on the bench by halftime. That should be the goal, with all due respect to Northern Iowa. You want to show that you're really taking the next step, don't have a letdown. Don't play to the level of your competition. Go out there and play 4 full frickin' quarters, and don't let it be close. That's how you know you're taking the next step. When it's an opponent that admittedly, I'm not sure how they're going to push you unless you just don't show up at 100% ready to go this Saturday. Head coach Matt Rhule said on film review, they spent an hour, all right, watching film with the offense and the defense, going over all these little things that they want to improve on, they want to get better on. Nebraska head football coach Matt Rhule, on being ranked, said, and I quote, "It's where we probably should be, but it's not where we want to be," end quote. In other words, he wants to keep going up the rankings. Well, of course he does. But you got to keep pushing them. You got to keep getting better. I couldn't be happier at this moment in time. Again, had you told me a month ago this is where we're going to be sitting, Adam, would you take it? I'd have said, absolutely. But you keep getting better. And that's what Matt Rhule's looking to do. One of my favorite things he said, other than calling out the Big 12 refs because they can't find him after the game. I love that. Marshawn Lynch, I'm just here so I won't get fined. Matt Rhule, I'm going to say what I want because I can't get fined. I'd love to see a picture of those two together. That'd be a phenomenal. Like, we got the bulletin boards of all the 93.7, the ticket hosts around Lincoln. Check them out if you get a chance, ladies and gentlemen. I want to see a bulletin board, okay, of Matt Rhule and Marshawn Lynch. I'm just here so I won't get fined. The refs suck, and I can say it. I'm not quoting directly, obviously, but they can't find me. I think that'd be phenomenal. But my favorite thing that he said after the Colorado games, we're going to treat this like a loss, just like we did the UTEP game. I love that. All right. Matt Rhule said NU had the worst special teams performance he's been a part of in some time. So he coached last year. Does anybody else remember the special teams last year? It was better. Not great. I think that's saying something. Not sure why, he said. Noted bad kickoff return defense, dropped kickoff, blocked punt. Says special teams coordinator Ed Foley is the right guy to fix it. Our offense is clearly better. The defense seems to have taken the next step. We're 2 games in. We have yet to play an actual good team yet. Although I will say this, I do think Colorado is at worst as good as they were last year. They probably did upgrade certain spots. Nebraska is just a lot better. That's what happens when you want to develop players and not just bring in a bunch of transfers. But I digress. My point is simply this. We're clearly better on offense. We seem to be taking the next step on defense, but you can't ignore that third phase of the game. If you didn't know, Michigan, who has never had a top 5 recruiting class under Jim Harbaugh or Sharon Moore, who's there now, Won the national championship last year. 3 Big Ten championships in a row. 3 wins over Ohio State in a row, who always has a top 5 recruiting class. One of their big advantages last year, by the way, Michigan put more players into the NFL through the NFL draft than any other team in the country. That includes Georgia and Bama and Ohio State and all these teams that out-recruit them. Through development, through a physical mindset. But Michigan a season ago had the best average starting field position throughout the season of any team in the country. That's special teams. Don't ignore that third portion of the game. All right. Got a couple other notes here. Matt Rhule said Nebraska could have scored 42 or 50 points against Colorado. And I quote, "We still have some evolution on offense to do." End quote, the coach said. I agree with that. I think the second half, the natural tendency was to get conservative. First half, great game plan, great execution. Again, putting 4 full quarters together. All right. He did say Nebraska's wide receivers did not block well on the perimeter against Colorado. And that is something Matt Rhule preaches. That's something Nebraska did for you. You're going to play wide receiver at Nebraska. You're going to block first, second, third, maybe catch fourth for decades. And it worked. Matt Rhule's of the same mindset, except we're going to throw the ball just a smidge more. If you're not going to block, he's not going to put you on the field. There's a reason he said that publicly. I feel like he says certain things publicly. Like if you remember back to you got to spend $1 to $2 million to get a quarterback. He was talking to certain people with that statement. He's talking to certain people with this statement. All right. He did give a big shout out today at his press conference to walk-ons Roman Mangini and Kenneth Williams, who played Jimmy Horn Jr. and Travis Hunter in practice to help prepare the defense last week. Rhule said they did a great job. So you've got to keep in mind, I've been a Nebraska fan since I was a kid. One of my favorite things right outside the locker room is the wall, is where they have on the wall, they have highlighted all the walk-ons who went on to be All-Americans here at Nebraska. It's not a short list. It's very lengthy. And guys who went on to play in the NFL and guys who won national championships. I am married. My wife is the sister of a walk-on here at Nebraska, walk-on defensive end who was 2 years older than me, and that's how I met my wife. Was through him because I was good friends with him. I will always be partial and biased, unapologetically so, towards showing love to walk-ons. When you go to school, and I know it's a little different now in the NIL era and all that good stuff, and rules are changing, I get all that. But when you go to school and you go to practice and you do everything the scholarship guys do, and then you got to find a way to put yourself through school on top of it, I got nothing but love and respect. And not all of them see the field. Not all of them get recognition. I love that Matt Rhule showed them recognition, because what happens in practice during the week, I would say 85 to 90% of the time, games are played on Saturday, but they're won Sunday through Friday. All right. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We got the locker room coming up right after this, a brand new, phenomenal, great show. All right. And I'll be back tomorrow, noon to 1 p.m. Central Time with the Adam Carriker Show. Until then, go Big Red Noise. Remember, I got to remember to look at that camera more. To throw the bone.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
The McKinney's Irish Pub in the Haymarket is your place for English Premier League soccer. On Saturday, Arsenal tied Brighton 1-1. Leicester City lost to Aston Villa 2-1, and then Bournemouth beat Everton 3-2. On Sunday, Chelsea tied Crystal Palace 1-1. Newcastle came away victorious against Tottenham 2-1, and then Liverpool shut out Man United 3-0. The top two teams in the EPL standings right now are Man City and Liverpool, both 3-0.